is they're very, very simple. So life is pretty complex. But there is some things that are simple enough that we would use a linear equation. And these are called pricing functions. And it happens in real life, right? So it is in real life that you could use a linear equation to figure out how much something's costing. So in this equation, we're going to talk real quick, and we're going to say that our guy, Tim, has decided to get some tiny elephants, and he gets 3 for $2,250. Now this first example is going to be weird, and when you get to the second example, you'll be like, I get this now, right? And Rowan says, you know what, I hear you, Tim, but I'd really like to be one of those New York people who's walking a bunch of dogs on a leash, but I'd like them to be elephants, right? So Rowan's got to buy 7 of them, right? So what we want to know is Becky has come into some money, right? And Becky has decided, I would like to have a sanctuary for baby elephants, and I'd like a herd of them. So she would like to buy 15 of these. So what we're going to go to eventually, what I'm trying to figure out is, what would she pay? What would she pay? Now here's what I got to tell you. The breeder has 2 parts to the cost. If you go to buy an elephant, there is a licensing fee, and that licensing fee you pay once, right? And then there's a cost per elephant. So for example, you don't have to write this, but I'm going to give you an example. Like say the breeder says, my licensing fee is $200, and I'm going to charge you $1,000 for each elephant. So how much would one elephant cost you? $1,200. Perfect, because you would say it's $1,000 for one elephant plus the 200. What would 2 elephants run you? 2,200. Here's why. Once you pay the licensing fee once, you don't have to keep paying it. You just change this to 2,000 plus 200. What if I wanted to buy 5 elephants? What would it cost me? 5,200. Awesome, right? So that's how this works. There is a fixed cost every time that's not going to change. And then there's a cost that's going to change every single time, and it's going to be our price per elephant. So here's what I want to tell you. We are going to be making up a function, and the function's going to look like this. It is going to be y equals, and you can write this on top, y equals mx plus b, but in this case, let's decide what each of these letters is going to stand for. It's going to stand for some different stuff. So the first thing is, this is going to be our LF, or licensing fee. I don't know how to spell the word licensing, so I'm not going to, right? In the first 0 period, I tried to spell it like 8 times. That's our licensing fee. That doesn't change. That's a solid number. We're going to figure that out. This number is going to be our price per animal. This number is going to be the number of animals we buy, right? And this one is going to be how much money we spend total, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use Tim and Rowan's data to help us build a function, and then we're going to plug in 15 for the number of animals that we want to get, that Becky wants to get her herd going. Does that make sense? You see where we're heading? So the first thing I want you to do is, on that top thing, I want you to change this sentence into an ordered pair. Make it into data. There should be a number of elephants and a price. Make it some data. So like this. There's something, comma, something. What do you think goes there for Tim? What's his data? How can I write his data nicely? How about 3, comma, 2250. Does that make sense? We are literally doing what we did yesterday, just genuinely doing it in a real life situation, baby animals, and bigger numbers. And then we're going to use Rowan's data, right? So 7, comma, 4250. Is everybody cool with that, right? So we need 2 bits of information. We need to know the price per animal, the M, the slope, and then we need to know the licensing fee. And we have all the information we need to do that. So if you guys are ready, we're going to rock and roll with this. Are you guys ready to do this? So here we go. Let me erase this here. La, la, la. Let me get rid of all this. That's not a big enough eraser. There we go. Okay. So the first thing we're going to start with, let's find our price per animal. Let's get the slope, right? So this is how we would get M, just like we did last night. Do you remember how we would do that? So we're going to subtract. Get your calculators out, right? Because these numbers are bigger than normal. So if I'm doing this, like I think I even have a calculator out from my last class, right? So we're going to say 3 take away 7, that's -4. And we're going to go ahead, I'm turning on my calculator. I'm going to say 2250 minus 4250, and I get -2,000. But I'm going to change that into a slope, so it's going to be -2,000 divided by -4, or what is my price per animal? $500. So my price per animal is $500. Let's put that right there. That's my per elephant. Okay? Now the next thing I need to do is I need to figure out my licensing fee. I need to know what my licensing fee is. So here we go. We're going to use what we have so far to figure out our licensing fee. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to say y equals 500, right? X plus B. Now you can use either Tim's money or you can use Rowan's. It doesn't matter. You're going to plug in for X and Y. If it was me, I'd plug in Tim's because smaller numbers are my friend, right? But it's up to you. Can you do that right now? Can you try and see how you would do? Remember what you're going to do. You're going to plug in, I'm going to use Tim right here. I'm going to use him right there for 3, and I'm going to use his 2250 for that one. See what you get for the licensing fee. When you get a licensing fee you like, can you share it with your neighbor and see if they believe you or see if they're going to look at you and say, like, you just don't even know anything. Did you get 750? Did I do that right? Yeah. I'm just doing it up here. So our licensing fee, LF, is $750. So now what I'd like you to do on part C, write me a function. Write me a function for this situation. In other words, y equals blank x plus blank. Can you do that for me? Using what we just did. See, I'm just breaking it down for you. Nice and easy. So hopefully what you put in there looks like this. I hope what you did is you said 500x plus 750. Now we're ready to find Becky's question. She wants a pack of them. She wants 15. We need to plug that 15 in somewhere in that equation. Which one is our number of animals, the X or the Y? The X. Plug it in for X. Tell me what it's going to cost Becky to get her lovely little herd. Did you guys get $8,200? $8,250? Yeah? Yes. The question is, Becky wants 15, right? So I'm going to take that 15 and plug it in for my number of animals. So if I wanted to do 20, I could plug in 20 right there. If I wanted to do 30, I could plug in 30. So I would say y equals 500 times 15 animals plus 750. Does that make sense? And then I do it on my calculator. How is that? Is that bad? Is that okay? Okay, you guys ready to try one? Here we go. Next one, let's see who's getting animals on this next one. Someone's getting a pack of polar bears. So let's say that Bryn is 1N, yes? Bryn is getting 4 smaller polar bears, and she's spending this much. And Cole wants more. He wants more, and he wants a bunch of them. Yeah? And let's go ahead and say that Zane is like, forget it, man. I want, is it N-E or N? Zane? N-E?
No, there's no.
He wants 15. He wants 15. He wants a bunch of them. He wants to have his house be like full of polar bears. Okay? So here's what I want you to do, step by step. Let's start here. First thing I want you to figure out, let's start with our data points. What are our data points? And if you're like me, you're getting clever and thinking, wait, I'm going to put the big data on the top and the little data on the bottom because then it's easier to subtract, right? So I'm going to go 6, 52, 40. And that was Cole's. Bryn's got 4 of these bad boys. Oh, so cute. 35, 60. So let's start here. Can you give me, the first thing I want to know is, what's our slope or our price per animal? Start there. I have my calculator out, so here's what I got. I got 2 right here, 52, 40 minus 35, 60, comma, 1680 divided by 2, divided by 2. Did you guys get 840? Did that seem right? 840? Okay, that's how much it costs every time you get a polar bear, but there's a licensing fee on these bad boys. What's our licensing fee to get a polar bear? What is our licensing fee? And if I'm going to remind you, if you're a little confused how to get that, you're going to say y equals 840 x plus b. You can plug in either data point. Either one will get you the same licensing fee. Because they went to the same breeder. Right? So either one. But you definitely want calculators. So if you haven't bought one yet, now would be a good time for Friday's test. Friday's quiz. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use Bryn because her numbers are nicer. So I'm going to say 3560 equals 840 times 4 plus B. Got my calculator, so I'm not scared of those numbers. Those numbers don't scare me because I got a calculator, right? So I'm not going to be like, I'm going to cry. 3560 equals 3360. Look at that. I didn't even make them scary. I wrote these myself. I'm going to move that over. Move that over. Oops, forgot a number there. Did you get 200? So my licensing fee is 200. So here's what I want, and here's what we'll show on the answers tonight's homework. I want the equation on part C. Y equals 840x plus 200. So now, how much for Zane's pack of polar bears? What's it going to cost Zane? You already got it? So fast. I haven't done it yet. Don't rush me. So, okay, I messed that up. 840 times 15 plus, you guys are too fast, 200. Did you guys, everyone got an answer they like? I'm not going to say it until everyone's feeling okay. Cole, you about ready? Am I good? I got 12,800. So that's what it would cost you, Zane, to have a whole pack. How is this? Is this okay? Yeah? Okay, I'm going to have you try the last one on your own. Manatees! A whole aquarium of manatees. How would that not be adorable to have manatees? We're going to go small because I want them in an aquarium, like little manatees. They're just swimming all around, right? So at the very end, what I'm looking for on part D, how much for 15 manatees? How much for 15 manatees? see all this goofy stuff, you know, it actually works. So breeding cutting manatee. Because then you could hold them, you know, because they come out, they're mammals. You could like hold them and play with them. You make little rocks for them. I think you might have to have a backyard pond. I don't know if manatees swim in ponds. I actually did this one already, so I'll put the answer in your way. While you're doing that, I'm passing out the homework, but I'm making, you know me, every day, I make some changes. I went a little tougher last year, but this year I'm trying to pick up my pace a little bit, so I'm cutting something off your homework. So before you dive in. Great job, that's great. Don't let the big numbers fool you. It's exactly what we did yesterday. I had someone go, why is this stuff completely new? I'm like, but it really is. Wait. This makes the other stuff make more sense, yeah? Did you notice your refrigeration?
Yeah.
Squeaked that in before midnight last night. Didn't want mom and dad to be sleeping at it. Okay, I'm going to give you your answers. I'm going to show you what you got, and then I'm going to talk to you about the homework, and then I'm going to sit down and like be exhausted and go to sleep. I am so freaking tired. Girl, be careful. He's going to be just fine. Okay, so here's what I got for my manatees, my little baby manatees. My licensing fee for my manatees was, I'm sorry, not my license, my price per manatee was, oh, they're pretty cheap. They're not really smart. So I got $260 and I got an $80 licensing fee. Oh my God, they're almost affordable. You can almost afford to get a manatee. So Y equals 260 X plus 80. And I didn't do the 15. Did someone get 15? What's our 15? How much? $3,980 if you want a bunch of manatees. And why wouldn't you? Manatees are adorable. Okay, so everyone's getting their homework done. I want to talk to you about it. I love all these problems. I made them up myself. So if you get to the back, there are some pretty funny ones. Like look at number 8. This is not this Gabe. I had a kid last year who used to bug me. So number 8, Gabe bought goldfish, and then they all died because they're stupid. And then he bought new ones. They died. So here's what I want. The instructions are going to be a little bit different. Number 1 is let's do it, letter A is the same thing. So maybe write this off to the side. A is price per animal or slope. B is licensing fee. C is equation. D is how much for 15. So don't worry about these instructions because they went a little harder. Right? We're not going to do that until next week, right? So we'll do it again. I'll say it again. I'll say it right up here. So here's what I want. Oh, I'll write it right here. So right here is amount per animal and amount of licensing fee, equation, and for 15. Is that cool? And the answers kind of got cut off, so I am going to, in a second, write up, you know what, I'll put it in Google Classroom tonight. So if you want to check in Google Classroom, maybe I have time. I'll put up the equations to the bottom ones, and so you can just know what the equations
Anything's typing in the list only by 6 I won't even give it that one. He bought himself. No.
So look what I'm going to do on the answers. I'm getting tricky. I'm writing it in function notation. Yeah, I got cut off the answer. So look at this. The first one is it's a function of polar bears. Polar bears is 6. Well, you'll do the work, but here are the answers if you want to write them down. I'll go Y. I'll do that. I won't go tricky. And if you see why I'm using different letters, it matches the first letter of the animal. But you can check these as you go. Don't just write them down, you naughty kids. That's right, Mosin. So here's what I want to do. Did I say do 6? Do any 6 problems you want. Sorry. Do any 6. Do any 6 of these.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you very much.
I'm not giving the final answer. You have to do that yourself.
Good.
Yeah, there you go. But that will be on the quiz. I mean, I could do it right now. I'm writing down number 6. I'm writing down the answers because they got kind of cut off. Do you see how they got cut off?
Yeah.
And there's no sense doing all these and then finding out that you did them all wrong. That's the worst. Dragons! You keep them in your oven. Wouldn't that, if you got tiny dragons, you keep them in your oven? I know. That's where you'd have to keep them.
That's stupid.
Why would that be stupid? Not in the oven.
Yes.
Number 8 is my favorite. Okay, bye COVID friends.